Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. I am going to go through the charts and trades that I'm looking for the week ahead. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So starting off with the dollar pairs, last week's analysis was spot on these pairs as to why we should not be looking for shorts on them. They clear longs. If the higher time frames are showing longs, then guess what? We need to be looking for longs and not shorts. Look at euro dollar. The area that I had highlighted, we had a lovely rejection off it, followed by a huge bullish engulfer last week. Also with GBP USD, also with New Zealand US dollar. Simple and straight analysis. You just can't go wrong with it. So yeah, anyone who was looking to short on these pairs, I think they've all just probably been stopped out by now. It's very, very important to focus on the weekly and the monthly time frames. That's what I emphasize on a lot, especially in my private mentorship. So yeah, let's get straight into the pairs that I'm watching. Starting off with US Swissy, which I've been waiting on for like months now, honestly. On the weekly time frame, we can see, we failed to put in a new high. This is a week low. I'm waiting for price to come into this sort of level to target the sell side liquidity. So if we make our way up into this level, I will be so interested in shorting this pair. We've had a clear break of structure. We've got an imbalance right over here. Also on the weekly time frame, we've got this order block. We've got an imbalance. So much confirmation actually on this to go shorts. And next pair I'm watching is USD CAD. I'm not going to take so much time on the analysis on the pairs that I've already discussed last week and even the week before. On USD, on USD CAD on the weekly time frame, I did mention every time we've come into this area we've rejected, and with dollar being bearish, I expect shorts on this as well. We've had a liquidity sweep, and then we've had a huge push to the downside, leaving imbalances. We've got imbalance here, we've got an imbalance here, and we've also got an imbalance here where price is rejecting from. So you could enter from wherever you want to enter, honestly. My bias on this is short, and I'm looking to short until this, because if we've taken out buy side over here, sell side is right over here, okay? And that's how the market moves. When we take sell side, we go for buy side, and once we take out buy side, we go for sell side. So yeah, entirely up to where you'd like to enter. The next pair that I am watching is USD JPY. We can see on the weekly time frame we've actually swept to the low. So for me, this is a liquidity sweep. We've had a huge bullish reaction out of it. So on the lower time frames, I am going to see where price could potentially come back into. If I just get my premium and discount tool out, you can see we are now in deep discount prices, and I'm looking for price to come back into premium. Okay, now where could price potentially come to? Where is buy side? Well, if sell side is right over here, we can see the first buy side target is right over here, but long-term buy target is up there. But why am I going to target this and not that? Simply because we have an imbalance right over there. So we've got an imbalance right over here. Chances are if price wants to come up, we are going to take out some sort of liquidity before the meltdown, or price could continue going higher and take out the highs. But because we've got an imbalance there, I'm not going to be targeting the highs. I'm literally going to go on to lower time frames, and I'm going to see if there's any level that I could enter longs off. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's have a look. It's entirely up to you how you want to enter. If you trade the 1 hour, you could use the 1 hour. You could enter off this 4-hour imbalance that we've got over here. You could use the 8-hour for an entry. We've got an imbalance right over there, and my target is going to be this level up here. So that's USD JPY, looking for longs on that. Aussie CAD, on the weekly time frame, this is so clear. We've had a sell side swept, buy side is up there. We are making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Price has come into this order block. We've got an imbalance over there. We rejected off it, and since then we've just been moving bullish. And I am bullish until we don't take out buy side, which is right over there. So I'm going to move on to the daily time frame and see where price could potentially come into. We've got an imbalance over here. We've also got an imbalance over here. Which imbalance am I going to go for? I don't know. I'm going to wait for confirmation out of these areas on the daily time frame, and also going to wait for price to show me when it's ready to move higher. I have my own entry criteria. When that is met, I pull the trigger and I enter the position. Only me and my students know. By the way, guys, if you are interested in learning from me, okay, the most simplest strategy that you could find in the trading space, honestly, go head over to my Instagram, go onto the highlights, mentorship highlights, and go through all of that. DM me, and I'm more than happy to help you. And you're not going to get this price anywhere else, number one. Number two, prices aren't going to stay like this forever. This is the cheapest that I am putting out there, and it's only limited time offer. So if you want to, you could DM me and we can get you into the mentorship, and honestly, you won't regret it. By the way, guys, if you're with me for 12 months, you are my student for 12 months, and in 12 months, you have not made a single penny, you have not benefited from my teachings, then guess what? I'm going to refund you 50% of your money. Okay? No one's going to offer you that out there. So I'm more than happy to take you guys on board. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, let's get straight into this. Aussie CAD, I'm waiting for price to come into maybe this imbalance. Okay, or even this imbalance. If we reject off this imbalance, I'm going to look for my entry criteria to be met to take the price higher, or if we break below this, I'm going to look for some sort of a reaction from this imbalance over here to take price higher. Am I going to set a limit blindly on here? Absolutely not. That's something I would not do, and I would never suggest anyone to do. Next pair I'm watching is Aussie New Zealand dollar. I think I spoke about this last week. For some reason, this kind of tagged me in on my MT5, but it didn't tag me in on sorry, it tagged me in on MT5, but it didn't tag me in due to spreads, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm looking for, if we get that one last push down into this imbalance over here, I'll look to enter the market. And if not, then I guess I missed the trade. I did record a video for my students and show them there was an entry somewhere down here which I completely missed, and that's why it's so important to be super vigilant when price comes into your POIs. Yeah, so if I've missed the trade, I've missed the trade. It's my own fault. I could have gotten somewhere here, but because I've missed it, because I've missed this entry, I'm gonna wait for some sort of retracement, around here to get into longs. Next pair I am watching is CAD Japanese yen. So if we look at the monthly time frame, guys, well, we can see we are like trending bullish. So we've got this higher high. Okay, we took out that structure. We then came down into this imbalance. Okay, we've rejected from it. Price has then gone up, put in a higher high, and now it's come back down into an imbalance right over here, and we are rejecting off it. Now, if you just focus on this level over here, where exactly are we rejecting from? There's nothing there. There's no imbalance, no nothing for price to reject from. So what I'm starting to think now is, because there's no reason for price to reject from here, I'm thinking price could potentially make its way up to buy side liquidity, target the highs and put in all-time highs. That's my analysis on this pair. Let's have a look at it on the weekly time frame. That's the monthly imbalance. We had a huge rejection out of it, sweeping these equal lows. So we've swept liquidity, and I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was last week or the week before when I was looking for Japanese yen shorts. I'm not anymore, simply because after this candle over here, I was expecting some sort of continuation to the downside. But what I'm not liking now is I'm not liking this bullish candle over here. I'm not liking how price didn't come down and put in a new low. So for me, again, I'm not going to go against monthly structure at all. If it's showing me bullishness, I am bullish on a pair. I'm not going to predict bearish momentum to kick in from whatever area when structure is clearly showing me that it's bullish, if that makes sense. Okay, the trend is your friend, guys. Don't go against it. So on the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame, I am looking at this pair to continue higher. And also, you've got to remember, what happens is sometimes you have traders tell you, oh, it's come down pretty impulsive, so chances are we could potentially come into this imbalance, that imbalance, and we could reject. Yeah, we could do. It's a possibility. But what is the structure saying? If the structure is saying it's bullish, then who cares if it's come down impulsive? Nobody cares. We need to follow the trend. Okay, now On the daily time frame as well, you can see how price came down over here, guys, and we didn't take out previous lows. Okay, we have a morning star right over here. That's a reversal candle pattern. Okay, I'm gonna go down onto the lower time frames and see exactly where price could potentially come back to. So we've got the 8-hour time frame, we've got an imbalance over here. I'm going to either watch it on the 8-hour, or I might watch it on the 4-hour. I'm going to wait for some sort of confirmation out of these areas to take continuation longs. My first target is going to be this level here, second target, that level over there, and so on. My long-term target is obviously the monthly high that I've shown you guys right over there. Okay, next pair that I am watching is Euro Swissy. I am really liking the look of this pair. If I'm looking at it on the monthly time frame, there's not much on the monthly time frame besides the fact that we're like at all-time lows, and I'm starting to think, could this be a liquidity sweep? So we had a reaction out of this. So we had a liquidity sweep over here. Price then came all the way down, okay, and then we had a liquidity sweep over here as well. Let me show you. So this too is a liquidity sweep. There we are. Okay, and what I'm starting to think now is we had an imbalance over here which we didn't really respect, so there's not really much to talk about on the monthly, but because I'm seeing that sweep and then I've seen this sweep, and I'm starting to think, could this be a sweep based on the weekly time frame? So from the monthly time frame, all I've gathered is, okay, we've had some sort of liquidity sweeps. On the weekly time frame, I see a clear break of structure. So for me, on the weekly time frame, this looks like a clear sweep because we've had a break of structure. Until we don't have any sort of break of structure, liquidity cannot be confirmed yet. So because we have had a liquidity sweep over here, price has then gone up, put in a new structure high. Sorry about that. I'll just draw that properly. Price has broken structure. What's happened after that is basically price broke structure, right? We've then come all the way back down quite impulsively, and we have liquidated this level again. Okay, so sell side liquidity has been swept again. Like on the weekly time frame is so much more clearer now. On the monthly time frame, it wasn't so clearer. So we've had that sweep, we've had this sweep, we've had this sweep, and now we've had last month we've had another sweep. So looking at the weekly time frame, all I can see now is since we have swept this level, okay, we had an imbalance over here, which you can probably see. Let me just draw it out for you guys. We had an imbalance right over here. Price rejected off it, shooting star. We were then followed with a bullish hammer candle, okay, and this week we've just been super bullish as well, and we have broken above that imbalance. I hope this makes sense to you guys. So what am I going to do is I am going to wait for price to come into this level over here to then look for longs. Okay, we've got an imbalance here on the daily time frame as well, so once I see my entry criteria being met, I'm going to look for longs from this level over here. Lines up very nicely because, like I said, liquidity sell side has been swept, and for me, buy side is over here. So long term, I am looking for price to make its way higher into this level. But if you're looking to enter over here on whatever time frame you trade, the first target should be this level, second target should be this, and then your ultimate target should be this level over here. Next pair that I am watching is GBP CAD. Sorry guys, I think the Euro Swissy analysis on the monthly was a bit confusing, but I hope it made sense anyway. GBP CAD on the monthly time frame, we've taken sell side liquidity. Okay, where is buy side? Buy side for me is over here and over there. The reason why I'm going to target this level again is simply because we have an imbalance right above it, right over here. Last thing you want to do is target the highs and then watch price come over here and then reject. Okay, so my target is over there. So now that we've distinguished that we are bullish, we've taken sell side and we are now on our way to buy side. We're going to be going onto the lower time frames to find an entry. You can see on the weekly time frame we are trending nicely. We are trending bullish very nicely. We had an imbalance over here, price rejected from it, and it's a lot more clear on the daily time frame. We had a rejection out of this imbalance. Price then went up. We came into this imbalance. We rejected again, and price is continuing higher. We have an imbalance over here, which we haven't really tested. So if I see price, obviously price doesn't have to come down, it could continue going higher. However, if I see something like this price coming into this level and rejecting, I am then going to wait for my entry level or my entry criteria to be met to then go longs and put in a new high and target buy side liquidity long term. Next pair I'm watching is GBP JPY. This is the exact same analysis as I think it was CAD JPY. So on the monthly time frame, this is so cool. We've got sell side liquidity over here. We've taken it out. We've taken sell side right over here, and since then we've just been trending bullish. Okay, buy side for me now is over here, and you can see on the monthly time frame we've put in a new high. Okay, and for me this is a retracement. You can see these wicks, which I'm going to show you very clearly now on the weekly time frame as to where price has potentially rejected from. We've got a bit of an imbalance over here, and we've also, or you could even just draw out this order block. It's entirely up to you. I usually like to draw out the order blocks with the imbalance like this, just to make it a lot more cleaner and a lot more clearer. You can see when price tapped into this order block or this imbalance, we've had a huge rejection out of it. We have then been, we kind of got into a bit of a range, and then we seen this huge bearish engulfer where I was expecting price to continue downwards, but it seems like price didn't want to come further down and take out this low. Price instead looks like it's going to continue higher, especially with last week's huge bullish engulfing candle. I'm not seeing any shorts on this pair. So what I am going to do is I'm going to switch through time frames, and I'm going to see exactly where price could potentially come into, and a target longs, take longs on the trade. We've got an imbalance here on the 8-hour time frame. Any sort of rejection of this imbalance meeting my entry criteria, I am going to look for longs on this pair, and I'm going to pull the trigger to go longs. Next pair that I am watching is GBP Swissy. I actually took a loss on this last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before. In my mentorship with my students, I go through the wins that I've taken and the losses that I've taken. And with GBP Swissy, I've gone through the loss and I've explained why I took the loss and how I could have avoided it. I am not ashamed in telling anyone that I've taken a loss in trading, because guess what? Every trader loses, regardless of how good you are at your technicals, regardless of how experienced you are. I'm not the one who's literally just going to show you all my wins. Okay, losses are part of the game, and you're going to take them, so you got to deal with it. So on the weekly time frame, first of all, let's look at the monthly on this. We've had a liquidity sweep, and this GBP Swissy is quite similar to Euro Swissy. The monthly time frame to me literally looks like a sweep of sell side. So if we've taken sell side, our next target is going to be buy side. And the reason why I'm interested in longs over here is, you can see once we took out sell side liquidity over here, we had a bit of a range over here, right? And then we had this 4 months of candle, like quite bullish. These 4 monthly candles are pretty bullish, and not only that, we also had an imbalance. Okay, so looking at that imbalance, and also if I've distinguished on the monthly time frame that we are bullish, I should only be looking for longs, right? So I can see this a sweep of liquidity over here. We've then gone up, taking out previous structure. So we've had a boss over here. I'll just mark that out just so that it's easier for you guys to understand. Just mark that liquidity. There it is. What I am looking at is obviously price came down into, you could mark this imbalance out, you could mark out the last bearish candle before the bullish move up, and you can see we had a rejection out of it. Anyone who got into this trade from this candle over here, they've been liquidated, they've been stopped out, and I'm looking for longs on this pair because I want to target buy side. Okay, so where could we enter longs on the daily time frame? You can see we have now got an imbalance to play around with. Once price comes into this area on the daily, 8-hour, 4-hour, whichever time frame you like to trade, for me personally, I trade the daily time frame, so I'm gonna look for any sort of confirmation on the daily, and yeah, I'm gonna take longs on this pair. And that's about it really. I'm seeing what else am I seeing? Actually, I am seeing Swissy JPY as well, but this is not something I'm going to discuss because I need some more price action to develop before I look to enter this trade. It is looking so nice on the monthly. I'll go over it anyway. So on the monthly time frame, we can see we're at all-time highs. Okay, we've had a huge bearish engulfing reaction out of from all-time highs. We've got an imbalance over here. Price went into this imbalance. It looks like we've been rejecting off it. On the weekly time frame, we can see it's a lot more clearer. We had this imbalance, price rejected off it, and what I love about this pair especially is I'm seeing a clear break of structure. So the break of structure on here is so clear that it's making me think that price could potentially melt on this pair. The only thing that's putting me off this pair is the other JPY pairs because they all seem bullish, but this seems bearish. So if I look to enter this pair, I'm probably going to enter on low risk. So if we just go on to the daily time frame, let's stay on the weekly. Where could price potentially come down to? There's no imbalances over here on the weekly. We've got a huge trend line, which is sell side liquidity. We've got a monthly imbalance, which is right over here. Lines up very nicely from where the trend line starts. So that's an extra confluence. I am looking for any sort of confirmation to actually take this pair down into this monthly imbalance. Okay, so we can see we had an imbalance right over here. We had a liquidity sweep. We then had a huge push to the downside, taking out this structure as well. So we've taken out structure on the weekly. We've taken out on the daily as well. So for me now, I'm starting to think, are we going to come into this imbalance and reject? It's a possibility. Okay, so I'm looking for shorts on the Swissy JPY. And yeah, that's about it really. These are like A+ setups that I'm watching. Okay, if I've shown you 3 GBP pairs, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to enter all of them. If I really want to, I'll reduce my risk on them. But no, I'm going to choose one out of all of them to enter. And that's about it really for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, make sure you are subscribed, and leave me a comment down below. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, and I will see you again soon with another video. Until then, bye.